Welcome back, everybody. My name is Tom Olsen. The name of the show is Olsen on Law, every Saturday at 11 a.m. right here on News Talk WDBO. And we're going to bring on board my guest, Attorney Thom Rogers. Hello, Tom.
How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Now, Thom Rogers is a CPA and an attorney. He does estate planning. He's in Longwood, Florida. And I want to bring on Tom to talk about estate taxes, but let's talk about this, that everybody was talking about the fiscal cliff and what was going to happen to income taxes. What nobody was talking about was what was going to happen to estate taxes, also known as death taxes, also known as inheritance taxes. And that question has now been answered for us, Tom. So tell what was the final shakeout for estate taxes beginning 2013?
Well, I think it worked out very well for the taxpayer. Here's a list of some of the things that have changed. The annual exclusion amount, which years ago used to be $10,000, and most people are familiar with that number, has now been raised to $14,000. So every year you can make gifts up to $14,000 to as many people as you want without worrying about making any tax payments on those. If you make direct payments for tuition or medical expenses, it's unlimited. As far as making additional gifts during your lifetime, you can make up to $5,250,000 worth of gifts in addition to making gifts for tuition and for the annual exclusion amount. No taxes at all. You would be required to file a gift tax return if it exceeds the annual gift exclusion or the tuition or medical expense exemption, but you wouldn't have to pay any taxes. At death, the estate tax, or as you call it, the death tax exemption, is also $5,250,000. Now, if you use up some of your exemption during a life, that would, of course, be subtracted from what you could use at your death. But you would be able to use $5,250,000. And if you're married, both of you could avoid paying taxes on $5,250,000. So you could literally avoid taxes on $10,500,000. If for some reason you do exceed that amount, then the estate tax rate has been raised to 40%. It's pretty much a flat rate now, 40% over $10,500,000. The other thing that you need to keep in mind is that the rate is actually going to, not the rate, but I should say the exemption, is actually going to go up. Each year it will be adjusted upward in accordance with whatever the inflation is for that year. So that's good news for us as most taxpayers. In addition to that, the wealthy still have the ability to use advanced planning techniques. And if for some reason you fail to do your estate planning and you haven't prepared a will or a trust and you haven't put in provisions to provide for these things, there is what is known as a portability provision, which was extended. And even though this would be an election that has to be made on a federal estate tax return after one's death, it would allow someone who is a surviving spouse to take advantage of their spouses. If that person was the predecessor, they'd be able to take advantage of whatever amount of the exemption that wasn't used by the predecessor.
So, Tom, for a single person then, for death taxes, they can pass up to $5,250,000. A married couple, $10,500,000. And this is going to go up every year with inflation. It's just going to get bigger and bigger. And is there any expiration on this estate tax law?
No, that's another good thing about it. This is a permanent fix.
Okay.
So, that's not to say that, our legislators may not change things down the road, because it has changed probably 8 times over the last 30 years. But right now, this is a permanent fix, and it's not set to expire at any particular date.
All right. Hey, Tom, I know that you deal with some very, very wealthy clients, but if a client came to you, a married couple, and said, Tom, we have $100 million, and when we pass away, we don't want to pay any death taxes, is there planning that can be done to where people could avoid death taxes even, beyond their cap of $10,500,000?
Tom, there's a number of advanced planning techniques. It takes a little bit of an effort, but people can avoid paying taxes if they plan in advance. They just need to make sure they do that.
Okay, very good. Thank you. That's Attorney Thom Rogers. He's a CPA and attorney, does estate planning. He has an office in Longwood, Florida. And you're welcome to get hold of Tom if you'd like to at his office next week and talk to him in some more detail about that. We've been talking about estate taxes, also known as death taxes, also known as inheritance taxes.